Oh, okay. Well, I'll call the meeting to order then. The agenda, we have a motion on the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It carries. Minutes of the August 17th, 2021 board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries. Okay, approve of the purchase of a 2022 tractor for secondary roads.
Remember, we had this on the agenda like a week or two ago. And one of the things that was missing was the specs. They weren't really missing. They just hadn't been copied. They were on the back of one of those pages. We didn't have it. We've all been given that now. And they are comparable and it's the low bid. So I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the low bid.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That little discussion here. Are we going to try to get back into the? I don't know.
We're gonna have to look at that.
It's something we need to look at. We got a year to
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
decide
something
on.
we got to do. Okay, motion carries. Okay, renewal recorders, black ice, TIF viewer annotations.
Normal renewal on it.
Programming that we use to make notations on our documents, so we have to have it in order to, when we release the mortgage, put that notation on there.
And you budgeted enough to cover this whole thing,
I think
all $83.99 of it? That's $83.99. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Right.
Both
Aye.
same sign, motion carries. Okay, Friends of the Naval Air Station to replace a furnace.
You know, through the years, the Naval Air Station has come to us with different situations where they needed funding for a particular item and they did not get approval from the Legacy Foundation on this go around. They're concerned about this winter. They lost some insulation and some sheetrock because of moisture last year. So they were asking if we could contribute $29,000. It comes out of our capital projects of sales tax, doesn't come out of property tax. This is out in the county. It's beneficial to a lot more than the county, and this being done by volunteers. So I'd certainly recommend that we continue with what we've been doing in the past, that when they run out of funding, we're able to help. As part of this, you remember the state auditor said a few months ago that whenever we contribute money to nonprofits, from now on, we have to have an agreement. So history is being made today. There's our very first agreement. And so if we are going to do this, we need to approve the contribution, and then we would authorize the chair to sign the agreement with Friends of the Naval Air Station. It's really, it has, I wrote it to where it just has what he wanted. It wants the amount, what it's for, if something would happen that this entity would fold, do we claim any of the assets? And no, we do not. And this agreement would terminate upon the installation of the furnace and the ductwork.
I think the last 10 years of the Naval Air Station working, the volunteers, Steve Black and Larry Kofer being kind of the two main guys, I'd say, spearheading it. And there's a good group of people working with it. I think probably 2011, 10 or 11 is when they took this on and cut through red tape of the airport and trying to take possession of the building and everything else with it. There's not many of these buildings left across the country. They sprouted up kind of throughout the Midwest, and they were, as a reminder, they were used as training facilities more or less for pilots and like landing on aircraft carriers, things like that, right here in the Midwest. And I would say 90% of these buildings have been torn down. So the ability to save a piece of not just our history, but American history, I think something that is part of our job to help maintain. So I'd make the motion to approve the money, 29,000, replace the furnace, and authorize the chair to sign the agreement.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we got the trusted energy. Oh, it's bad. Is that Kelly's?
Well, that's the guy that had called and wanted to talk to us about, at the end of the meeting about, I believe, insurance. No, this is the one about solar energy. So he's not here.
Okay.
We'll just disregard it.
Oh, we could wait an hour, you
I don't
know,
think so.
to make sure that he don't show up.
I think we'll move on.
Well, if we move on, the next thing is,
Okay.
All right, you got 3 minutes.
are you Thomas?
Yes,
Okay.
um. Brian Morgan,
I am.
Wayne, Wayne. We're a solar company, Trusted Energy out of Storm Lake in Grinnell, Iowa. Our Grinnell location, we've been around for about 15 years. What we're pitching really is using the ARPA funds or the COVID funds for solar possibly. Because this is like one of the lumen funds. And it's gonna help you use for either saving on electric bill for about 35 plus years. And so instead of paying for electric throughout the years, I mean, you could save possibly around 40,000 a year depending on your electric bill. So that's maybe someone's salary. What we're bringing to the projects, the ones that we're really looking at. We've done utility ones, which so that would be like the local municipal per project, and so that would just lower the bill for everyone in the city. Next project is actually from community school, which we use their PEPL funds. So instead of, as they didn't have enough expanding anymore for construction or like need, as their school board wasn't going any bigger. So these are the funds that they can't use for new construction for this instead. So then that helps save on their energy bill. And finally, just the last one, which is commercial, which I'm not really pitching to you guys because of course there isn't tax incentives, but we are capable of putting on the roof also. So you could either do like a certain location, like a brownfield, like the one we used for the school, was actually an old baseball field. And now it just turned into that because they didn't use it anymore. But now we also do ground now.
So would you come in and do the analysis of our different buildings? Because I know we had one done on the jail, and it was one of those that now it'd be different now with the funding, but when we were gonna have to pay it before, like the 25-year payback on it, then I can't remember the company that was doing it there a few years ago when the incentives and stuff like that was kind of coming off and the net metering was starting. And so we had looked at that, and our jail in 25 years wouldn't have provided the payback on it to sustain it. Now, again, different funding, so it would be different. But so would you guys come in and say, look at secondary roads or look at the courthouse?
Yeah, we'd look, come by, if we just need like a year of your bills to figure out models, see how much you guys would need per site. And then we'll say, this is how much you need, this is when your payback would be. And then, yeah, you can look at their numbers after that point. That point takes about 3 weeks, but that's just a simple free, no cost thing. If you're looking for an estimate of it.
Okay. And then like, let's say with the courthouse, let's say we wanted to look at something like this, we really don't have the space anywhere around to put panels. I mean, the roof's
Yeah.
not gonna be big enough to,
We could look at alternative sites. I mean, sometimes we do like, say, if, like, when there's large energy use needed, we can look for like a brownfield or someplace that would lease, either the territory to install it, or just figure out, if there's land somewhere else we can install for about 25 years.
okay.
That's what, we did for the Grinnell project. For Grinnell College, it's about 30 acres of solar. It's about 30% of the bill for the college, but the land is leased for 20 years and they have the right to extend it for 5 more years, next, or 2 more times.
So what would be the procedure next?
Next would be, we would need to see like your Alliant bills, and then knowing what building would be, which I mean, it would be on the Alliant bills anyways. So we can see what the site is. We need to know like how much amperage is coming to that site. So usually a home is 200. Most are around 400 to 800 depending. And then after that, we just need to know where it is in your system, like where the little utility box is, the meter, and then if you want on the roof or if you want it on the ground or where you'd like it at. And then we just need to size it with your bills.
Well, I think the first thing we'd want to find out is just the study. Is it, you know, like right here,
Feasible.
where would we put it here?
Here, I mean, I'd have to see your roof a little bit more to understand that one. But here, I mean, you can only do in select parts of your roof, or if there's another building nearby that could actually power it, but that could kind of trenching in, that take a little bit of work.
Now, is there anything pertaining to historical structures?
Yeah, the point is like we won't have to be very careful not touching, like, but what if say if the roof is like a rubberized, we could make it so it doesn't penetrate the roof. So it's just kind of mounted on like cement that holds it down.
Because we are an historical structure.
Yeah.
And we're starting a window project to replace all the windows.
Make it a little more energy certified.
Hopefully,
I would say the one building maybe we'd look at again, maybe would be the jail with the funding. Because there's enough space on the roof for it.
And there's probably a lot more energy because it is like 24 hours.
Mhm.
That's one thing. So I'm also looking at, well, for Charles City, they're looking for the courthouse and they just built a brand new jail. So we're kind of looking at their energy like double over with this new add-on.
Well, I don't think it hurt anything getting some numbers around.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Yeah, my contact information is on there. You can just feel free to email us some bills. It'll take us like a few weeks just to get an estimate, and then if you like it, if not, we can look on the next steps.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
thanks.
All right. Now, do we have anything?
He's joking about 3 minutes, but. I don't have anything else. Move to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor, aye.
hi,
Vote same sign. We are adjourned.
Danielle, I got 2 copies of this agreement here on the Naval Air Station. I don't think Kelly